Two things, right? Yesterday we were blessed. Some of the hot weather came out yesterday at the end of practice. Obviously, you guys are here. It's been a little bit cooler. We're supposed to be in the mid 80s on Saturday, so a blessing out there today to get some warmer weather, get our guys prepared for that. I thought coming out of the bye week, we needed to snap in on Sunday. Really liked Tuesday and Wednesday's practice, and then probably had as good a Thursday as we had right there. So excited about that. I think the big thing is coming into this week, the similarities of our schemes, right? Like there's a little bit of offensive, defensive, some special team stuff, but as always, it's a Big Ten game versus Big Ten game, a trophy game, a lot at stake. So we're expecting their best and excited to get to Saturday. So with that, open it up.
Yes, Brett, Bart told us that Brandon Henderson had a really good open week for you. I know he's been a guy you mentioned trying to find his way on the field. What'd that look like for him?
Yeah, I think obviously a lot of stuff at the tight end stuff was fun, but really just to kind of get him out there used to playing, right? And during the bye week, worked him a lot at both guard spots. I think he'll be in there more than he's ever been at the true offensive line position. Still have the big package with him at tight end, but yeah, I think he'll play more in this game than he has all fall.
What did he show you guys during this week?
Brandon's a good athlete. He's a very intelligent player. In high school, he literally kind of came in as a guy that we projected to play tight. There was literally one practice where he played all 5 positions. So just extremely intelligent, very focused. He probably plays better the closer he gets to the ball. I think that's come out this year. Even the reps at center showed that more than anything.
The D1 council vote to get rid of national letters of intent.
Yeah.
Where did you fall maybe on that?
Yeah, that one really kind of came to last, I would say, year to 6 months. People started talking about it. I know we talked about it a year ago. It really started with the transfer portal, right? Because now all of a sudden you're dealing with a bunch of guys that are entering your program that don't have any way to matriculate into your program other than taking classes. So the rule is, right, so if I recruit a young man and he's a transfer, he may commit. He may even say he's going there. We've had situations where we've had guys deposit on their apartments on campus and go to another school because there's nothing that's tying them here until they take the only legal binding agreement was when they take a class, they initiate a class. So then you had different programs all over the country. We're getting guys in online classes, getting them to take classes while they're on their visits, like just a bunch of just shenanigans. So really had been pushing for this as a football coaches association, and then finally this matriculated. So I think it's a really good thing to kind of give the way for transfers to now have a way to lock into a university and they know where they're going, right? Obviously you've got the 2 portals still, but this should be able to clean up a little bit of that. I'm all for it. Anything that cleans this up, like we literally get a chance to be a part of the best game in the best profession, however you want to say it. Like it's a very exciting time to be a college football coach, and I think this even makes it a little bit cleaner.
Any forecasting changes like with high school prospects?
Well, that's the question I ask. Honestly, we're gathering information as you are, but I do think that December 4th we're going to have a signing date that will be kind of standard, normal procedures. Everything that I've been told, it's going to be still locked into a financial aid agreement between you and the university. There won't be the NLI thing that has been a national, but I don't think the student athletes or the universities from a big picture view are going to seem that much different, except for the portal thing is going to dramatically change guys locking in and can't flip until the next portal.
The portal thing meaning the window that's shrinking, perhaps?
Well, I was actually one that want to make it bigger, so it's, to me, like I just think you want to make it into one window, right? I suggested going 60 days, December 1st to February 1st, and kind of giving the kids more of an opportunity. I know we talked about having one, and I understand the second one this year, especially because, roster size are going to have to go for us, like we're going from 120 to 105, right? So there's going to be some natural movement on your rosters, which I get the second portal. So anything to benefit student athletes, I think we have to be smart about protecting themselves from themselves, right? Like I really do believe, everybody talks 30 for 30s, right? I believe at some point in the future, they're going to talk about a 30 for 30 of what we did to graduation rates, just because I think these kids that are transferring multiple times, they're losing sight of their graduation date, which is, I think, our responsibility to protect themselves. So that's the only thing that I get concerned about. But anything that allows kids to maximize their results, I think is a positive thing.
What do you think of the second portal window still being a thing?
Yeah, I think it's a necessity for this year. I do think that it'll gravitate to maybe eventually go into one, but I think that one has to be bigger. So everybody's trying to me, the thing that we're missing is, like for us, we always start classes the Tuesday after Martin Luther King Day. So we're a little bit later, some are a little bit earlier. Like if you play a game on January 1st and you're supposed to decide by January 5th, like what are we doing, right? So I think to give them a bigger window even if there's a kid that on campus isn't going to be with me in the fall, I would rather know that than have them go through spring ball, right, and kind of clean up your roster. I think one of the greatest things we can't lose sight of is we got an incredible relationship right now with the world in college football. Everybody wants to watch college football. You see it on the TV experiences, the money that's being paid, the venues that are being sold out, right? Like we're getting close to our number of sellouts here at Illinois. So like we got a really good product. I don't want to take away from building that product and make sure it's great. And I think when you start jacking with rosters post spring ball, the ability to just kind of have a few kids make a decision that can greatly change your roster, which could affect your season. I think that's what we got to protect ourselves from.
The trophy game side of this whole thing, the trophy game part, how much do you talk about that within the team?
Yeah.
How important is it to you to, I know that case that empty right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So, when I came in, one of the first things we did is build a trophy case, right? And we were able to get Northwestern in there for a couple, but we lost it last year, and we've never been able to get Purdue, so it's sat empty, and that's kind of the way I've approached the whole week. We can talk about it, and express our opinion and desire to have it, but until you touch it, see it, smell it, feel it, like it's not there, right? So I think that's been its own message within itself, but also this week is about playing Purdue, which is the next Big Ten opponent, and there's an emphasis on that. I think it's a little bit more obtainable once you have it.
Any injury updates of note for Saturday?
A couple guys are going to be game time decisions that we're still making. We returned guys this week. I think the big one for us is just, some of the guys that haven't practiced during that whole entire bye week and they've been limited here, they're cleared, but how much can they go? So that's going to be the big one.
Any update on not update? What have you seen from Hudson Card so far this year? What kind of challenges does he potentially?
Obviously, we evaluated and watched him out of when he was transferring the portal. The guy we saw last year, very live arm, can run. He can obviously make a lot of adjustments within a play. I think great quarterback can make something happen when nothing is there, right? And I think he falls in that category. So, he's a very dynamic player. Obviously, they got a new offensive play caller or play system, but the more you see of him, the more you appreciate just the multi-talents he brings.
I know it's not until next weekend, but to have a second sellout after not having one for several years, what does that say about the program, but also this fan base?
I appreciate the question, but if you want to sell out Saturday this week, that's what I'd like to have. We'll worry about next week when next week gets here. But it really became apparent to me during the bye week. We're traveling across the country. I'm with a couple of my coaches, and just the way people, like sometimes people would see that we're at Illinois football, but I didn't necessarily know who the hell I was, and they would grab you and talk about the program and what they saw and the games they watched. So exposure is a great thing, right? I mean, listen, I love doing media, but the reason coaches do media is to give exposure for their program. That's what the name of the game is in this NIL world and recruiting and all the things that matter. The more exposure you have, the better things are. And to showcase Memorial Stadium this weekend as well as next, we got 3 games out of the next 4 are here at home. That's a big deal.
When talking to Robbie Disher the other day, he'd mentioned Jordan Anderson's name.
Yeah.
I'm just curious if that's been a move you guys have made or if he's getting any reps with
so on the field, you guys have seen him a little bit playing in non-traditional running back position, so he's kind of dual rolling between tight end and running back. Also trying to get involved in special teams. I love Jordan Anderson. I've been a huge fan since Joliet Catholic, right? I distinctly remember during high school evaluation, he caught a little corner route as a tight end or as a tailback, and I'm like, man, this guy might be a tight end. So I think when we had some injuries at that position, it's a suggestion we made, and he ran to it. He and I had a meeting and did it. Now he has kind of dual rolled, right, because Aiden was a little bit banged up, Caden was a little banged up, Josh was a little banged up. So we haven't been able to fully switch it, and it's a true credit to him. He's an incredible student of the game. He's got great awareness. I'm really excited just to get him on the field and see what he can do.
I guess with your help relative at running back and then Khalil showing he can play, does that kind of help make that transition a little bit more?
What I think we have unique to the running back room is every one of those guys is a good skill set for that position, but they're all uniquely different. Like I've said it now a couple times, I think when you have a running back room that has multi-talents, but the more multi-talents they have that are different from one another, Caden and Josh are very similar in what they bring. Aiden's a little maybe combo platter, but Khalil is probably a traditional skill set that none of those other guys really possess. So I think to have the volume of skills in that position is really important.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.